guys, so my puff puff is done. These two darker ones are Z's recipe, and this recipe is Sisi Yemmie's mom's recipe, and I am about to get in there. So let's go. It kind of reminds me of mandazi. This is what the texture looks like. I hope you can see that. I can see the nutmeg. Let me close my eyes. It's different. It's not quite like a beignet. It's not quite like the mandazi. Sort of, but not quite. It almost tastes like it has banana in it, although there's no banana. But the best part of it, especially when I close my eyes, I really pick up on the nutmeg. It's delicious, guys. And the outside is a little bit crispy. In my dip, I could easily eat. I'm not gonna eat all those puff puff. It's not gonna happen, not tonight. It's good. And it's good in a simple way. Like it's just that simple sweet that can finish off a big meal. So let's go into Sisi's mom's recipe. Texturally, they seem quite similar. I don't know. To me, they do. Let's see what they taste like. It's good. I'm getting a little bit of that savory flavor from the onion. A little bit of the kick of spice. These are not as sweet as Z's recipe, but there's still a slight bit of sweetness. It tastes really good. And this is giving me an idea because it didn't come out perfectly circular. And the shape reminds me so much of when we do codfish fritters. There's a lot of ways to do codfish fritters. You can do them in a lot less oil, and when I'm doing that, I choose a different, batter. But when I'm frying them in a lot of oil, they usually look like this. But we use baking powder as a raising or leavening agent, and I'm thinking I've never tried or thought about using yeast, but it might work. I'm definitely gonna make these again because you see this shape? I want the perfectly circular puff puff. That's just me. Once I've tried a thing, I must do it until I can get it to perfection or close to. But this is my dessert. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end the video here because I don't want you to see how many of these I actually eat. But thank you for watching. And if you are Nigerian and you happen to come across this video, leave me some tips, some additional tips. And oh, someone said that sometimes puff puff can get a little tough next day. What are some ways that you preserve your puff puff so that they can retain a little bit of moisture and softness, so that you don't have to eat them all at once? Because it's very tempting to eat these all at once. How do you keep them or store them next day? I'm thinking an airtight container, but is there anything special that you guys do to preserve them? Drop it in the comments. Thanks for watching, guys. Yum.
The next day.
Here I am back in my corner. So it's a completely new day, but I really just wanted to update you guys on the puff puff. So what became of the puff puff? Well, I'm gonna post a picture of what I did with it the following day for breakfast right here. And what happened to the rest of it? Well, it turns out my niece really loved them. Like I said, Sisi Yemmie's mom's recipe is not as sweet, but she still liked them. And what she did was she just dusted a little bit of powdered sugar on them, which is saying a huge bit, because my niece is so finicky. I mean, she likes sweet things, but even sometimes with sweet things, she's kind of iffy. But she loved them to the point where when the others disappeared, she came and she was like, "Where's the rest of the puff puff?" Where did they disappear to? And I'm going to be making them again. I'm going to be making them again. I think the next recipe I am going to try is Sisi Yemmie's original recipe. She actually has quite a few recipes. She has a party recipe, and then she has 2 other recipes besides her mom's recipe. At least those are the ones I've seen so far. And I'm going to try it again, but I'm going to halve it because, yeah, that night, the following night of when I had breakfast, after I had dinner, I just had a feeling for something sweet, and it was like, have puff puff, and it came to me, just eat the puff puff, just have the puff puff. And I was like, no, I had some already for today, I'll leave the rest for tomorrow. And then a voice came to me and said, tomorrow's not promised. So I literally had the rest of the puff puff. So when my niece came, there was no more puff puff. So I'm gonna have the recipe the next time I do, which will probably be in about a week. There's gonna be Puff Puff Chronicles. I'm gonna have the recipe, and because, you know, I mean, I'm really trying to be more of a disciplined individual, and being disciplined means being aware of your weaknesses and taking control of them. You know what the Bible says, flee from temptation. I mean, it's like when you go to the supermarket and you know that aisle where all the goodies that you want are in that aisle, and you just have to avoid that aisle. Don't be like me, where sometimes I'll go down that aisle and be telling myself, oh, I'll just buy it for the house, you know, I won't have any, and then you take it home and you eat the whole thing. So it's kind of the same thing with the puff puff. I'm not going to make a whole batch, because most of the recipes I've seen, they call for like 3 cups of flour. So I kind of like half that, because I will eat them all. It's like, if it's in the house, you're gonna eat it. So, and if you make it and you make too much of it, you're gonna, well, for me, I don't like to waste food, so I'm gonna eat it. So yeah, halving the recipe was definitely a good idea. Definitely a good idea, but I really enjoy them. And like I said before, if you are Nigerian and you come across this video, what other sweet delicacies are out there that I can check out and probably try on my own? I know about chin chin. I've never had chin chin and I've never made it, but I'm gonna look for a recipe and try that one probably next. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So thanks guys for sharing. Sisi Yemmie, Zeelicious, and all the other amazing bloggers, food bloggers. Thanks for sharing your recipes. Take care.
Get a drum as a toy for Christmas. Was one of the greatest